Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So, I have a really busy day, so I'm getting conscious coffee done while driving home from school drop-off and all that good stuff. And while I was driving over to my kids' school this morning, I had all these roller coaster emotions this morning. I was positive. I was turned on. The world is out to get me. I was depressed. I was upset. I had some really vicious, nasty thoughts go through my head, and I had some really fun, adventurous thoughts go through my head. I just had all this really hodgepodge of stuff, and it was like a roller coaster ride. And of course, as you know, Conscious Coffee kind of gets spurred on. The topic of the day is spurred on by whatever comes into my mind, whatever comes into my spectrum in the moment. And on mornings that I'm not doing Conscious Coffee within the first 5 minutes of waking, normally it takes on a spin of what's going on in my moment of life experience, my noticings, the happenings, and to keep on topic around consciousness, because that's what Conscious Coffee is all about, right? Energy, vibe, consciousness, awareness, all that kind of stuff. Manifesting, creating that fuck yes life. And this morning, as I'm driving, it's about a 30-minute drive to where I go. And in that 30-minute time, I could not hold one bit of consistent energy. It was just pew, 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 pew. Just these thoughts, these random thoughts. And so I chose to just take this witness perspective to it, to just see kind of like the muck that came up, the beauty that came up, and all this different stuff. And then as soon as I got back in the car from taking my kid into school and stuff and saying goodbye to him for the day, I thought, this is a really great topic. This is a really great topic because a lot of the times I end up with people saying, yeah, but how do I control my thoughts? And nobody ever likes my answer. Nobody ever likes my answer, because my answer is you can't. You can't control your thoughts, especially those background thoughts. Those background thoughts are the ones that I spent that 30 minutes of just all of that roller coaster energy rolling through me. Good, bad, fun, ecstatic, blessed, sad, angry, all of this different stuff. It was kind of like my emotions needed to do a good house cleaning this morning. I just needed to disperse a whole bunch of stuff. And I don't think that I'm abnormal on that. I might be a little bit more aware than some, but I'm definitely not abnormal on that house cleaning. And I think that what tends to happen to us, from what I've experienced personally and what I deal with my clients, is that noticing of where you get trapped in one of those thoughts. Okay? So what do I mean by trapped? You could kind of look at it as Alice in Wonderland, the rabbit hole. And it's the rabbit hole of vibration. And what happens there is, this is a really great topic. I think I'm going to write on it, and it's going to be called the rabbit hole of vibration. So, mental note. Somebody message me something about the rabbit hole of vibration, so that by the time I get done with this Conscious Coffee, I will not have forgotten the topic of my article that I'm going to write here next. But no. So that rabbit hole of vibration, it's whatever we attach to. Now, I did not really attach to anything. I didn't give anything my focused concentration this morning. I just sat back. I noticed what was going on. I was like, whoa, all 1 second. And here's the funny thing, a thought, I had a really great thought. I was like, oh, well, there's this going on. I had this one thought when I first got up this morning, because I woke up and I was just, last night when I went to bed, I was in this pissed off mood, really, really pissed off, and had no reason for it. Had absolutely no reason for it, but I was just edgy, to the point that yesterday while I was edgy, I was I was, thank you for sending me that. Somebody just texted me what I just asked them to. So thank you very much for texting that to me. But this morning, last night I went to bed and I was angry. I had no reason for it. I was so just edgy yesterday that I took a nap in the afternoon to kind of reset my vibrational scale a little bit. And I don't nap, but I was so just on edge, and I caught myself being short with my kids and just short-tempered in general. I was just like boom, boom. And I had a great day, so it didn't make any sense to me. There was background thoughts at play causing that. So I took a nap. Then last night I came up again, and there was this edginess. So I woke up this morning, and my initial thought was really, really good. Like, I started doing my morning meditation stuff. I got up a little bit earlier than normal. I got a whole bunch of stuff out of the way, then got my kids up, did all this different stuff. And I kind of held that good vibe because I did certain things that kept triggering positive thinking. So it kept me in a positive emotional state of being. And then once I got into the car, I was driving, and it was just kind of like this stillness, right? Well, I call it a driving meditation when that happens. And the trick to meditation is that you don't attach to thoughts. You just watch them drift by like a river drifts by in front of you. And you're not getting in the river. You're not exploring the river. You're just sitting by the riverside, and you're just watching the river flow. And that is the thoughts that you're thinking. You just watch them flow. You just witness them, but you do not interact with them. You do not attach to them, okay? If you do not attach to them, you give them very, very little energy, okay? So none of them really impact you unless they are thoughts that are holding a focus point in your life consistently in a more conscious fashion, okay? So a lot of the times what I get caught with, and I myself sometimes have worry with, but I know that it's all bull, is, what do I do about these 20,000 thoughts that are going on during the day that I have no comprehension of, that I don't even know that I'm thinking, but I have these different feelings roll through me. Or I might all of a sudden, I might worry about something. I might second guess something. And this is all these background thoughts, right? Well, how much of an impact are those on my vibration, on my ability to manifest, my ability to create, okay? My ability to stay in a good mood. Anybody who understands manifestation at all knows that if you want to really manifest things, it's about your emotional state of being. It's about how charged up, how amped up you can keep yourself. And I don't mean that you're like hanging from the chandeliers amped up. I'm talking about just being in a feel-good space, a feel-good mood, because you have to remember you are attracting things to you. So you as the magnet, do you want a feel-good mood is going to attract more feel-good things to it, where a piss-poor feel-bad mood is going to attract piss-poor feel-bad things to it. Pretty very easy, simplistic science, math, whatever you want to call it, okay? It's just basic laws of attraction here, okay? So with that thought process, how much of that background stuff really takes part in it? What I've learned through tons of study and personal experience and working with different people on this, from teachers to clients, is that those background thoughts, those 20,000 thoughts that you don't know that you're having, but you're having them because you're always thinking, unless you attach to them, they have absolutely zero to none of an impact on your manifestation vibration, okay? So they're just rolling through. Here's the problem though, it's those rabbit hole thoughts, right? It's the rabbit hole. Something goes through your head and you don't really realize it. And before you know it, you did attach to it in some way. You felt a little off cue. You just were like, I'm feeling kind of bad. So then you went in and you started to explore without really consciously thinking about it. You went, why am I feeling so bad? And then you started to explore. So you started to look for the reasons as to why you had this emotion run through you, as to why something came up in you. And as soon as you went on the exploration of what was going on, what was causing it, you went to find evidence, right? So you're looking for evidence as to what's making you feel whatever way it is. We're going to use negative energy here because that's the one thing that we all have to combat, is the one thing that we consistently fight with, and we all know that negativity is just not good for us, right? So we go on this exploration and of looking for the evidence as to what is causing us the negative feeling, that negative energy. So what do? We start scanning everything. We're like, oh, well, it's because of blah, 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 blah. I had this thought about my ex, about that bankruptcy, about some stuff going on with my work, about the stuff that I'm worried about, the trouble with my kids, the trouble with my health, whatever it might be. And as soon as you start to look for that evidence and you find just one little thing, next thing you know, you're down that rabbit hole. And now you're really looking at all the negativity. You're really examining the negativity. And the more you examine it, the more you look for it, guess what you're doing? You're attaching to the negative thoughts. And in the attachment of those negative thoughts, you're emotionalizing all of them. And thoughts are kind of like snowballs. If you take a snowball and you roll it down a great big hill, don't be shocked if you end up with an avalanche, right? Because that's what happens with our negative thinking. We have this one little thought, we wrap up a couple more into it, we start to emotionalize it, and it's like we push it down this great big hill, and next thing you know, we have an avalanche of negativity that we've connected to, that we've attached to, and we're emotionalizing. And the more we emotionalize that, the more we really own it. And we really then get caught in this, oh, I see it, I feel it. That's where everything just ends up all wonky and negative. And you go from waking up in the morning from having a okay start to your day to having this crap happen throughout your day. And by the end of it, you're just like, Pretty sure that's what happened yesterday to me. I am pretty sure that I just did not catch some things. I remember that I had a client that I worked with, and he was telling me how he has just been in this piss poor mood the last couple weeks, to the point that his wife was even like, all right, grumpy pants, time for you to go to work today, because she was just like, I'm done with your crap, get out of the house. And I was joking around with him about better to be an asshole outside of your house and family than to bless them with that negativity and cause this whole negative spiral. And I think that in some of our conversations, I probably attracted that negativity to me just in that right there, and that kind of sent me all wonky. So it's about awareness. It's about kind of having the ability to scan and say, oh, I see where I hooked onto that. I see where I hooked my little red wagon up and started to collect those negative thoughts right there. So what do you do with it? Like, what do you do with that, right? So you go along, you're having an okay day, then all of a sudden you get into this roller coaster of emotions, and next thing you know, you attach to something, and then you catch it an hour, 2 hours later that evening, and you're feeling like crap. What the heck do you do with this? Well, you put it down. You drop it as soon as you possibly can, because you can have the consciousness to change that thought. You have the ability to change your focus from what is going on to put it into something that is more positive, just a little bit of an increased emotional state. And I'm bringing it back to emotions because, like a couple days ago, last week, I did a conscious coffee on emotional goals. That's all it is. And that conscious coffee, it's so accurate, because we have all these different things, and it's our emotions that dictate, but we deny our emotions. So once again, here I am really truly trying to get through the point of the emotional state and how important it is that you really pay attention to what is going on internally for you, okay? The internal, and what is rising up in that emotional state of being. It does not matter if you're sitting there and you're reading through a bunch of things where you're, you know, like let's say you're doing positive affirmation work and you're journaling all these great things that you want to draw into your system, you want to draw into your thinking, but you're not attached to them. You're just writing it, you're just saying it, there's no emotion to it, there's no emotional attachment, you can't feel it at your core, then you are not actually connecting to it. You're not going to draw it in. Or you might think that you really don't have any emotional connection to it, and you might discover that you actually have a negative emotional connection to it instead. So what could be a negative? Let's say you're writing out, like one of my favorite things to write is, I don't know how, but it just is that I have more than enough with plenty left over. Like that's been one of my journal prompts affirmations that I've written for probably 15 years at this point, and daily into my journal. And there are days that I go, yeah, whatever, like that's impossible. Why are you telling yourself this? Even though I can be in a fantastic, more than enough state of being in all these different areas, and I can still call bullshit on myself because of background thoughts, okay? Background emotions and thoughts. And here's the thing, if that's you, if you don't have that emotional connection, or you discover, hey, I'm writing all this stuff down, but I'm not having it come up in my life, then it is you calling bullshit on all of that because of the negative charge, because you're actually buying into the negative thoughts more than the positive thoughts. So really truly look at what those are and how you are emotionalizing it, because it's that spiral, it's the rabbit hole. It really truly is. It's the vibrational rabbit hole of our thinking, of our emotionalizing of things. And when we get caught in it, it's kind of like, you know, I see, as I'm talking here, I see the visualization. Anybody who's ever seen Little Mermaid, there is a point where, oh, what is the witch's name? The sea witch. I think her name is Ursula. It's been years. But there's a point in that movie where I'm going to call her Ursula, the sea witch, because I think that's her name, where she puts Ariel down in this whirlpool, and Ariel's sitting at the bottom on like a rock there, and the water's spinning around her, and the force is so hard that it's keeping her down at the bottom, and she can't get out of this negative thinking. Well, that's kind of the same thing that we do to ourselves in our negative thinking. We do that consistently by just really sucking ourselves down there and holding ourselves there. And as we really build up this force with the focus on the negativity. So be cautious, and really, really, truly take caution when you go on those scavenger hunts as to why am I feeling this way, and trying to, you know, collect the evidence as to why you're feeling some way. Here's the little trick. You're feeling negative, just simply realize, okay, I got caught in a negative loop. I'm not in alignment to what my soul, what my heart is saying. I'm not in alignment to my goals right now. I'm out of where I'm supposed to be. I should be high vibing right now where I'm low vibing. I don't really need to know what that negative thought was, because if I go back and I look for that negative thought, I'm going to attach a whole bunch of more negative thoughts to it. Instead, in that moment of realization, take yourself into, all right, well, what feels good? What could I do right now that feels good? Because here's the reality. The past is the past. It doesn't mean dilly squat for the right now. This moment you are living is, you know, accumulated from what happened in the last moments. But in this moment, you can make a decision to change what has been going on and change it with your thoughts and your feelings, so that your next moment is a higher vibration and the next one a higher vibration. But you've got to consciously make that decision. And you really have to make the choice of, do I focus in on why I'm being negative, why I'm feeling negative, or do I focus in on what feels good? How can I improve my state of being right now? Because an improved state of being right now is going to change the rest of your day, the rest of your week, the rest of your month, maybe the rest of your life. Because when you get into that state of being where you're really, truly feeling good and you're just ease and flow and love and, you know, just like what I call that orgasmic state. And in order to get to that orgasmic state of well-being, you've got to access a little feel-good state on the front side, and then you've got to just lean in and let yourself be led throughout the day. It's in the forcing of different things that we really start to shut the doorways to all of that beauty, to that bliss, and just let yourself kind of just flow a little bit. We keep ourselves so tied up in so many different ways and focused in on, oh, I got to get this done. Oh, I got to do that. Oh, I've got to be over here. Oh, I've got it. And then the worry of, why isn't this happening? Why am I feeling that way? It's like we're hypochondriacs in everything we do in general. Humankind is, as we really get caught up on the why and the looking for the reason. And, what is the obstacle? What is the challenge? What is the problem? And when we do that, we expand that obstacle, that problem, instead of diminishing it. As I always say, look at the war on anything. Anytime we put a war on something, anytime we go in and we really start to try to remove it and change it, that's when it grows. That's when it gets bigger, because we're applying our focus, our energy to it. And anything that we apply our focus, our energy to, grows. It becomes more prominent because it becomes the focus point. So what do you want your focus point to be? That's truly, truly the whole gist of it. The good news is, though, that same roller coaster, that same rabbit hole, well, you can have a rabbit hole of positive thoughts. It doesn't always have to be a rabbit hole of negative thoughts. You can consciously work yourself into a rabbit hole of positive thoughts, and you can put yourself not down, but up high, have an opposite direction of the spin, and carry yourself up to the top of something, so that you're increased vibration, so that you're really pulling good stuff in. And if you have any question as to what's really going on in your head, just examine what's going on in your external life, the world around you, what's presenting itself, what's coming to you. Because remember, it is an attraction world. We attract things to us. We try to always push ourselves to things, but we attract things to us. So you want to know what you're thinking? I know what kind of rabbit hole you got going on, what kind of, what thoughts you were actually attaching to. You don't need to analyze that. Just look at what's coming to you, and then make the conscious decision to, if you like it, keep going. If you don't like it, change your thoughts. So, okay. I am almost home, so I'm going to bring this to a close. Announcement Saturday, ladies. I have Manifest Your Man. It's a global workshop coming up Saturday afternoon. It's an intensive workshop for all the single ladies. And you know what? It's not even the single ladies, because if you're a lady that is with a guy and you want to know how you can impact his life a little bit and help him become more conscious, we're going to be talking about stuff like that too. It's about increasing your vibration so that you can draw in a conscious lover, so that you can draw in a man that is connective and emotionally sound, mature, emotionally mature, is strong in his power, is strong, confident, compassionate, full of passion, full of play. Really just that guy that we tend to always want to have, it's not about his looks. It's not about his financial, resume. It's not about even his education level or anything like that. It's about his awareness, his consciousness, his connectivity, and all the other pieces will fill in themselves because your soul knows what you need. And this workshop is going to give you 10 hacks, basically, of different things that I have learned over the course of my, who knows how many years. I've had really, really good luck with men in general. I've had some bad luck too, but those were great learning opportunities for me to figure out what I didn't want. And that's what we're going to be talking about. How can you really learn from the bad experiences and take that and pull in what you really want? It is manifestation 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, whatever you want to call it, for manifesting that conscious lover into your life. So make sure that you go explore it. The link for that workshop is in the comment section here on Facebook. So make sure that you explore that, check it out. Make sure you sign up for it. It is a one-day workshop, okay? It is a one-day workshop. Other events, local people, Addison Bell and I are teaching a Tantra 201 class. Not this weekend, but next weekend. It is a small group class. It's our second year teaching it. I'm so excited about teaching this class because I just love getting in and teaching the foundations of Tantra and what true Tantra is and how it can impact all areas of our life. From our, yes, the thing that we all want to know about, our sex, to our money, to our relationships with our children, with our friends, our health, our overall well-being, everything I've been talking about here that I talk about almost every single morning. This class is going to give you some experiential, actual skills. So it's a hands-on class, you could say. PG-13 rated because both Addison and I tend to like to cuss a little bit. So it is rated for language. It is going to be, though, a truly dynamic, fun, experiential class. So if you are local to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or if you can get your buns here to participate, we would love to have you. It is going to be available to probably about 20 people we have seats for. So definitely make sure that you can look at that. Again, comments. There's a link there for the Tantra 201 workshop. Go explore it, get your butt signed up if it's of any interest. We do this workshop once a year, so it will not be coming back around this year, okay? This is our spring, I don't remember what we call it. It's like a spring awakening, spring something. I can't remember what we call it. But yeah, it is our spring workshop based for Tantra teaching. We do one in the winter as well, a reboot for the new year, and then this is the follow-up one. You do not have to have gone to the 101 to participate in the 201, but yeah, so click on that. Anything else? I think that's about it for right now. That's all I'm going to announce for today. Make sure you click on the links. If I said anything in here that touched you, that got you thinking at all, helped you in any way, made you think about somebody that might need to hear that, who's constantly on some roller coaster ride with their emotions or their vibration, or you just see them getting caught in that rabbit hole. If you want to help that person, share this video, hit the little share button. Do me a favor, do them a favor, do yourself a favor. Hit the share. To all of you who shared your love, your likes, your comments. I will be reading comments later because I'm driving. It's not a healthy thing to read comments and drive at the same time. So I will follow up on those comments once I get home a little bit and respond to whatever I need to respond to. As always, I love you guys, and you can follow me at www.kendalwilliams.com. And remember, stop existing, start living. And I will catch you guys tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee. Bye, everybody.